Welcome, listeners, to the Unplug from Sugar Masterclass, where we are giving you the information, inspiration, and community support to unplug from sugar. I am your host, Metz-Mändmets. I am a metaphysician and healthy lifestyle expert. Joining me today is the author of The Complete Guide to Natural Healing and Natural Remedies for Common Conditions, along with 20 other published books. She is amazing. She is the founder of the Complete Herbal Guide website, which is thecompleteherbalguide.com. She writes for the Huffington Post, Thrive Global, and Medium. She has been a guest on the Dr. Oz Show, local news, and numerous radio shows. So it's an honor to have her here today. Please welcome Stacey Chillemi. Hi, Stacey.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm so excited to dive in with you. But first, I want to ask, why do you do the work with plant medicine that you do?
You know, at the age of 5, I developed epilepsy, and I struggled all my life trying to control the seizures. I had a lot of ups and downs and a lot of struggles throughout my life. And as I was going through college, I was really struggling, trying to study and trying to focus on getting my degree. And it was just really hard having that disorder. Along the way, I started working with an herbalist later on, a couple of years down the road. And I started doing a lot of research and writing, and I started actually learning a lot. And I started applying a lot of the things that I was learning to my own life. And as I was doing this, I noticed that my seizures went from 9 seizures a month to 6 seizures a month to 3 to none. And it was just, changing my lifestyle, changing the way I ate, changing, incorporating different vitamins and herbs and just, a whole bunch of different things, all natural. And, it made such an impact on my health and just the way I focused mentally, physically, everything just changed. And, I realized right then and there that, that it's not just popping a pill that can make you better. You really, it has to do with how we treat our bodies and what we do in our life that actually impacts our health. And, I started, writing and articles, and I started with a little blog on Blogger, and it was like maybe 400 people would come in and read my articles, and it went from 400 to then 10,000. Then we started drawing in over 157,000 monthly people coming to our website to learn about natural healing and ways to heal the body naturally. There's a huge yearning. People want to, learn how to heal the body, how to feel better naturally without having to resort all the time to a medication.
Yes. That is remarkable. How satisfying, right? It's like if you give the body what it needs, it will heal itself.
Yeah, people don't realize that our body isn't a machine, and even machines need to be taken care of with some TLC.
Right.
What we put into our bodies has a huge impact on the way we feel, the way we look, the way we act. It affects our hormones, our brain, our body, our energy. Everything we do in life, has an impact on our health. That's why you really need to take a step back, and you really need to observe how you're treating your body and really, think about maybe, altering and tweaking our bodies by making some, small little changes in our lifestyle, because sometimes the smallest changes can have the biggest impacts.
Yes, absolutely. And really learning that a lot of what is promoted to us and marketed to us as food, and even as weight loss food, and even as healthy food, isn't even real food. And so doing our own work of what our body really needs and what we really need to eat, because there's just more so than not in the grocery stores are packaged foods with preservatives and added things to them that take away their power. Just getting back to fresh foods, the simple foods.
Exactly. I get so angry sometimes because I look in the grocery store and, the United States has one of the highest obesity levels, with people suffering from obesity. And, like you said, you go into a food store and there's so much processed food. There's more processed food than there is natural food. And the way, our industry markets these foods, they make them look like something they're not. And people, if they're not.
Very confusing for people. Yeah.
Oh, most definitely. Even the way, they'll say, no added hormones, well, there's, a lot of times that means that there's hormones in there, but there's no additional hormones in that product or in that food. So people, people get really confused by really sneaky marketing. And in actuality, people are making money, but they're hurting people, and just, it's very sad.
It is very sad. So herbs and plants are the anecdote. I mean, it's just amazing what this earth has and what's here for us. I mean, the power in, some things that we'd never think of, like caraway seed oil,
Right.
like there's immense medicine, potent medicine, in your spice rack, in your herb cabinet. So let's talk, our listeners are unplugging from sugar during this masterclass. So which herbs can assist them in overcoming sugar addiction?
I like stevia. Stevia is an herb from South America, and it's used by herbalists all over the world. And it's really good for treating diabetes, and it helps lower blood sugar levels. And it also can decrease the overall sugar consumption and satisfy sugar cravings, because a lot of people don't realize some of the things that we can put in our bodies can actually increase our sugar cravings and want more sugar. And, there's ways to, that you could take different foods and different herbs, and it actually can help, make the body think, okay, I don't need sugar. I don't want that. And it could totally turn around. And stevia is really good. I like ginseng. The ginseng root, increases energy levels. It helps to lower blood sugar levels. And it also can overcome sugar addictions, which many suffer from. And, diabetes is a big thing in the United States. Many people suffer from it. And it's a scary disease because it eats away the body, from your eyesight to your joints, to your body, to everything, everything just slowly rots away. So, it's something that you have to really take seriously. And, we have to look at the foods we eat and really try to figure out alternatives,
Right,
So,
because it doesn't have to happen, right? It's like diabetes doesn't have to happen, adult onset diabetes.
exactly.
We can completely course correct if we understand the sugars that we're eating and the sugars that we're eating that we don't think are sugars.
Right. There's a really great product that I came across. It was raw honey sticks. And instead of using sugar, put some honey, or, if you like to drink tea or coffee, or if you want something a little bit sweet, or, you can use raw honey. Raw honey is great for the body. It has so many positive things that it can just re-amplify your whole body, to your digestive system.
It's so microbial. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one way, to try to kick, is try to use alternatives. And, raw honey is a great way. Even a little cinnamon, you put a little cinnamon on certain foods, it will give you a little bit of a sweet taste, but it's a great spice that can boost your metabolism, and it can actually help, regulate blood sugar, and it also can even help with cholesterol.
Yes. Oh, cinnamon's such a good one. Yeah, I always try to encourage people that there's always alternatives, right?
Oh my
like
gosh.
if you have a sweet tooth, there's always things that you can buy or make.
Yes.
Usually making it's better unless you have a really great health food store that sells, really healthful, organic, raw goodies that are sweetened with dates or stevia or anything that you said. Now, which herbs can help you lose weight? Like if you're really just after losing weight, are there particular herbs that you can target to help that process?
Iodine is something that can actually help boost your metabolism. People, when they hear iodine, they think, oh my God, that's not something you should take. But in every multivitamin, you always have a little bit of iodine in the multivitamin. And you can actually, purchase either the liquid form, or you could purchase capsules, and it helps to boost the metabolism.
Wow.
And it's really good for you. Also, like we were talking about before, ginseng is actually really good because it actually boosts energy levels, and it can actually speed up your metabolism, and it's really good for the body as well. And I also like canine pepper. It's really good. It helps to fight obesity, because what it does is decreases the calorie intake, and it actually can shrink fat tissue.
Wow.
It does it by lowering blood fat levels, as well as it helps to fight the fat buildup by triggering different protein changes in your body. And it does this because it heats up the body. If you ever see someone eating spicy foods and you start seeing them sweat,
Yeah.
yeah, it increases the temperature in your body, and it actually can, you know, help to burn fuel and create heat in the body, which has a huge impact on your metabolism and your fat storage.
So I'm getting inspired as you're saying this to make like a cayenne pepper honey salt scrub as like a thigh salt scrub.
Oh,
Like
that
to just
sounds
like work
great.
into the thighs. I
Uh-huh.
never thought of using cayenne pepper, but what a, like, I wonder if like topically like that, it would do the same where it just kind of gets in there and helps, you know, kind of dissipate.
It actually would, because when it's going through your pores into your body, it's still going into the body. It's still having an impact, just like it would if it was taken orally. You know, it would still
Right. And
have
maybe
this.
even more targeted, right? If you're just like,
Exactly. Yes.
I'm so inspired. That's a good tip. So what would you suggest, or is there any other herbs you want to mention about, you know, specific weight loss?
Well, you know what I just wanted to mention is dandelion tea is a
Ooh.
great herb. And people don't really know much about dandelion. You know, now with teas getting popular, people are starting to learn about dandelions. And you know, dandelion has been used for thousands and thousands of years, and it's a great detox method. It detoxes the body. It helps detox and cleanse your liver, and you will notice a change. Like you'll start feeling better. Like I a lot of times will make dandelion tea at night, and I notice the change. I feel better. I feel more energetic in the morning. It cleanses out your body. It helps to detox the liver, and when you detox your liver, you know, you will notice small changes. Like you will notice an increase in your energy level. You'll notice an increase in your metabolism. You'll start seeing, you know, you'll start feeling a little bit more focused, because it affects all different parts of your body. And you know, dandelion tea at night is a great a tool to use, you know, and to in detoxifying the body. And it also helps with and aids with your digestion system, and it helps you feel fuller longer. So if you have a little dandelion tea at night after dinner, you know, it makes you feel more fuller. You might not go for those midnight cravings and those snacks that, you know, we all crave for sometimes when we're watching TV and say, I wish I could have this, you know. It's like you always want that little something at night. That's at least something
Yeah.
I struggle with.
No,
Is
me too. And I do a tea ritual at night too for that exact reason. Yeah. Um, totally. That's such a great alternative. I never thought of dandelion tea. Would you I mean, I know you can buy dandelion tea, but like, what about people that have these like big open yards in the Midwest? Will dandelions just grow freely if they're not being sprayed away? Can people just pick dandelions from
Oh,
the
sure.
property
Yeah.
and put them in water and steam it up?
Yeah, you
Oh,
know,
I
a lot
love
of people,
that.
what they do is they take the dandelions, then they put them in an area where they could dry out a little bit,
Okay.
and then they pick off the dandelions, and then you can actually, you know, you can make you know, tea from that, you know. And sometimes if you have a teapot, you can buy those little round balls, and you can put the herbs, and you can put the dandelion in there.
Yeah.
And then you can, you know, put it in your teapot, and you can get a nice brew of dandelion tea, or any type of tea for that matter.
Right. Any flower tea, root tea, herb tea is so, I mean, it's so beneficial. Rosemary tea. I love rosemary tea or
Yeah.
sage tea.
Yes.
But dandelions are such a blessing, and people think they're a weed that they need to put all these chemicals on their yard to get rid of. And so
Right.
I hope we're inspiring people that it's like, if you've got dandelions, they're such a blessing. Use them, and you can use them in your salad too.
Yeah, you know, people in Europe especially, they do this all the time. And you know, everything is grown naturally, and you know, and they don't use the sprays that they use here. And you know, and everything is picked from their backyards, or they use the pots on their balconies, and they grow everything, and they make everything, and that's where they get all their spices and all their vegetables.
Yeah. My husband's from Estonia, and everybody has greenhouses.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Every house is a greenhouse, and I'm like, I love that. And the minerals too. I mean, the mineral aspect of just eating fresh from the earth like that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so much more healthier for your body, and you can notice the changes when, you know, and you don't gain weight when you have all the,
but
you when it's fresh, you know, like you could, you know, if you notice, if you go to other countries, you see people are a lot thinner, and it's because, you know, I believe personally it's because of the foods. You know, the food is natural. They don't have all those preservatives, all those things in the food that we use that, you know, are changing the chemistry of our bodies, you
They're
know.
not eating boxed foods, right?
They're not eating boxed foods, yes.
What a difference that makes. So people listening might be struggling with joint pain or arthritis pain. It's a very common thing I find with my audience and my clients as well. What do you suggest to someone, herbally with arthritis or joint pain?
I love to use magnesium at night in a bath.
Nice.
Magnesium is actually really good for aches and pains. You could actually just take it, you know, orally, and it'll have the same effect. But it's also very nice and relaxing, and it has a nice little scent to it. And a lot of times, if you have some joint pain, it's nice to take a nice little, you know, Epsom salt bath with magnesium in it. Also, turmeric is really good. You know, it has it's anti-inflammatory, which helps. You know, a lot of times when our body is inflamed, we tend to, you know, suffer from joint pain and pain, aches and pains in our body. And turmeric is a great herb also that you can use to help with your pains and your aches. And also, you know, I also like taking tart cherry. Tart cherry is really good. You know, if you take it for a while, you'll definitely notice a change if you're suffering from certain aches and pains in the body. It does help with the circulation, and it helps actually loosen, you know, certain joints and muscles, which actually, you know, help with the aches and pains. And I also always suggest, you know, Zen yoga is really good, because, you know, people think because they're suffering from a lot of aches and pains that they can't do yoga, but there's different types of yoga. And Zen yoga is great because it's all about stretching. And, you know, that's what your body needs, because the more you stretch, the more circulation, the more oxygen your body gets.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, that helps a lot with different aches and pains as well.
That's really helpful. Now with the tart cherry, is that a tincture or is that a capsule? How do you take tart cherry?
You know, it comes in all different forms. Like you
Okay.
could actually, you know, you could take it orally. They have it. You know, you could even put it. They have it where you can put it in drinks. You can put it in. You could also buy it in a capsule form. You could also, you know, I like to personally use it in a capsule form because I'm not too fond of the taste to it.
Yeah.
But you know, it all depends on the person, you know, and what, you know, they're able. You know, some people don't like taking
The preferences,
capsules,
right?
you know, and some people, you know, if you take something in a liquid form and you take it maybe with a flavored water or something that has a nice little taste to it, it kind of hides the taste, you know, so
Yeah.
you don't have that, you know, that certain bitterness that you might taste in tart cherry or any type of herb that you're taking that might not taste that great.
Right. Sometimes herbs do not taste good.
No, sometimes, you know, they're
Yeah.
really good, but just like everything else, you know, sometimes what's good for us may not taste that
Right.
great, you
Which
know?
is okay with me. I can take a swallow of anything if it's serving me, you know, if it's beneficial for me.
Exactly.
So I know that when we stop eating sugar, you know, we want to really nourish ourselves and take this time to like notice what's happening, you know. So what are some of your favorite healthful rituals that you do just to nourish yourself and just to like get present with yourself and your health?
You know, I think it's really good to take some me time. You know, a lot of times in this busy world, we tend to forget about ourselves, you know, and when we're doing good, we tend to even forget to pat our own selves on the back. We're so used to focusing on the people around us and focusing on work and focusing on everything else that we tend to neglect ourselves. And sometimes, you know, we need to just take a step back and really, because, you know, take care of ourselves. Because if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of the people around you? How are you going to do a good job at work? You you can't. So, I would suggest, one good way is in the morning or when you have some time, take a walk, take some time to, look around and actually, observe the little things in life, because sometimes the little things in life are the things that matter the most. And it's so nice sometimes to be able to take a walk and look at the trees and look at the sun and the clouds and, and just focus on the positive aspects of life and focus on the good things in life that you're doing, because positive is key. 90% of the illnesses in life come from stress. So we need to try to de-stress our lives as much as possible and do little things. And every time we do something good for ourselves and do good for our body, we need to give ourselves a little pat and do something small for ourselves. And, even using a journal, making short-term goals, long-term goals, checking off, little things you want to do. And every time that you do something, give yourself a reward, just like you would if you're raising children. When kids do good, you give them a reward, and it kind of motivates us to want to keep doing what we're doing, and it's all about, feeling good about ourselves, loving ourselves, and accepting ourselves for who we are. Sometimes I think in this world too, we get, society makes you think that you have to be this thin little stick and you have to look like this, and sometimes society doesn't always give us the right message. And
Yeah.
it's not always about how you look. It's about how you feel and how you feel about yourself that matters. The key is loving yourself, loving the person you are, and creating long-term goals and reaching what you want to do in life. What is your passion? What do you really want from life? And focusing on those things and giving yourself credit because you deserve it.
Amen. Amen. And celebrate those little things. Like you say, every time you choose something else besides something that's not going to benefit you, celebrate yourself in that moment, because the more that we celebrate ourselves in those little choices, the easier those choices are going to be for us.
Exactly. And you could even, pamper yourself a little bit. If you do something really good, if you accomplish a big goal, go and get a massage, or go and, do something special that you normally wouldn't do, and, do something, everybody deserves to, spend some time and do something nice for themselves.
I agree. Amen to that. Stacey has a free ebook for you guys. Stacey, you want to tell our listeners about the free ebook you have for them?
Yes, we're for the next couple of days, we're going to be putting on our ebook section where you can download our book. It's the Complete Herbal Guide, and it was a book that I wrote after doing about 5 years of research on all different types of herbs and all different types of alternative medicine and methods on how to heal the body naturally. People suffer from so many different things in life, and there are so many different ways that we could actually help improve ourselves mentally and physically. And this book has over 500 pages, and it talks about almost everything under the sun, and it gives you different advice and tips, and it shows you different herbs and different ways to actually improve your mind and improve your body and improve your health.
I love it so much. So listeners, the link to that will be underneath this interview. When you receive this interview in your inbox, you'll have the link to that ebook underneath this interview. Thank you so much, Stacey. It's been such a delight. We are out of time. I appreciate you and your information so much. All the books that you've written, you're really a force in this space, and you're doing so much good for so many people. So I really appreciate you for that. And listeners, we'll see you tomorrow for another inspiring episode. Until then, we hope you enjoy unplugging from sugar. Ciao for now.